spirit. Spirit no, get it with how spirit. And page 230 in the book. Let's begin.
Blood of Jesus, be saved. Oh, is so wonderful you are King. Angel Spirit divine, well, oh, King divine, well, let the beauty of Jesus be seen. When your burden is heavy and hard to bear, and when your neighbors refuse on your load to share, when your feelings so overcome, know just what to do. Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in you. When somebody has been so unkind to you, well, now some words are spoken that pierce you through and through. I think how he was begun was stand up on the river. Let the beauty of Jesus be seen in you. From the dawn of the morning to the close of day, and examples in detail in all you say. Well, lay your gifts at his feet. Oh, well, ever try to keep sweet. Oh, let the beauty of Jesus be seen in you.
Let me share something with you. Yeah. This happened maybe like last year. I never forget it. And I was going to work. And I remember like it was yesterday. This young man was in front of me. There was a stop sign there. He stopped at the stop sign, but then he gets out the car and opened the door. And you know what he did? He turned around and looked at me. You know what I did? I ignored him. Trying to get me roused up. Yeah. But I said, I'm not going to let him go. I'm not going. Yeah. Been there, done that. Yeah. Sometimes you learn from holding your peace. Right. There's a time to speak, and there's a time to be silent. Yes. And I hold my peace. And I'm here today to talk about it. Is that all right? I thought I would top that this morning. Everybody don't have a mind right. Right. And they want to push you over the edge, but you don't want to kick you. So you got to show the beauty of Jesus in you. Amen. K310. Listen to me. K310. K310. Let me sing. Only healthy heart, one day, and weary going there to pray. I bring their hope, thinking so lonely here. Heaven is crying, open up the bed up here. Got nobody golden days, well in the old time. Much and money, come morning, sing the well, songs of victory. There's a new highway to glory, well, the road that Jesus flies with a halo, well, with
traveling up and way to God. On the hillside in the morning, a sharp summer rain I see, but I see in the humble. Oh well, it's making its plea. Well, it's a own will, and we might be free. Oh, now he's earned it well for you and for me. Because no but a golden day. Oh well, in the morning, I spend money. The morning all comes. The songs of the victory, heaven knew way to oh well, the road that Jesus trod with the halo, now we're traveling the pathway to God. Oh, the shadows are repeating the Savior. In pain, the dark skies are oh well with the dew tide and the rain. The hell here witness to Jesus. Divine surrender our company. Well, oh Savior of mine. Gonna know a golden day has broken. Oh well, in the blood and money. A morning of conflict, oh well, the song of victory has a new highway to glory. A road that Jesus trod with a halo. Now we're traveling up that way to God. A new day is breaking, not victory is what is what the world is rejoicing. Oh, a new day is born. The new face making a sweet music, and they joyful proudly of Jesus, oh Savior. Of mine, cause no but a golden day has broken. Oh well, I stand underneath the morning of the Savior. The songs of victory, there's a new highway to glory. Well, the road that Jesus trod with an halo. Now we're traveling the pathway to God. One more? Yeah, just one more. Hey. We may be few and number, but we in spirit while we're doing just fine. Mm-hmm. Just hold on to God on the team. We're going to bring us through. You need something yeah. Oh, page 450. You know this one, right? You know it, right? Okay, good. Don't sing. The stars are falling, giving the glory come to welcome the silver star. I have a great delight in the wonderful things of all. Mine is His glory, mine is showing His truth and love. Oh, for with God, all places the forest to rest. Joining the faithful with Jesus and the Lamb. For really soon, one speaking by the Savior's love. Where are they going? But there is my God above. we're still on the evening, breathing out the way. Watching the shadow fall, they walk out at the close of day. I live thirsting heart with His word, His glory near. He's spreading His love and truth all around me and everywhere. Oh, with God, all places forth to rest. For strong the flame of God, with what Jesus and the Lamb. Rest on weary soul, once redeemed by the Savior. Oh, where I'll be pure and whole, and will live my God above. With closing my eyes and feet, and my thinking of heaven pray. With longing to see my Lord, and from feeling to face to face. But trusting Him as my all, wheresoever my footsteps roam. For believing of Him to God, He brought onto the Spirit home. Oh, for a home with God, a place in His Lord to rest. For sure and a safe abode, live for Jesus and the Lamb. A rescue weary soul, redeemed by the Savior's blood. Where I'll be pure and whole, and will live with my God above.
All right, well, I'm here. Hey, man, you got to tell me one time. One more time. What was that? When the Saints go marching in, what page that says? Just pass it. Come on, help us out, man. When the Saints go marching in. Let me go on the back street. I'll do that if I have to. Amen.
6:45.
6:45. Okay. Not that far from it. Yeah, there you go. I see it. There you go. Oh, there it is. Amen. Up us up this morning. Amen. That's all. Going in. We'll be part of that number one day. Amen.
That's right. The new one.
All right. Yeah, there you go. You mentioned it this morning.
I am just a weary pilgrim, running through this world of sin, getting ready for that city, Lord, when the saints of my change go. Oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching in, I will see the Savior. A new life I must begin. And I'll be in that glad number, oh Lord, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching, oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching, follow my Redeemer. I understand where he has been. But I know that he will call me, oh Lord, oh, when the saints go marching. Oh, when the saints go marching. Oh, when the saints go marching. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching. Up there, I'll see my Savior, who redeemed my soul from sin. If this thing he'll free me, oh Lord, oh, when the saints go marching, oh, when the saints go marching, saints go marching, when the saints go marching, saints go marching, oh Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching, oh, when the saints go marching, when the saints go marching, saints go marching, oh Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching, saints go marching. Oh, when the saints go marching, saints go marching. Oh, when the saints go marching, saints go marching. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching, saints go marching. That's a perfect song. That's a perfect song. When the saints go marching in. Have y'all ever heard them sing that on YouTube? You can see them sing that down in Louisiana, and they would just saxophone. Oh my gosh, that's a good song. Everybody get the feeling, you know what I mean? And they sing in the funerals, and they just have the coffin, and they be ready to say. Yeah, that's because death is not an end. All right, listen. 2 seconds on this, I'm gonna erase it off the board. I'm gonna just pull this up a little bit. I want to get this up. I'm gonna close it back there. With the chalk here. Listen. When the saints go marching in, everlasting life. In there, $1 billion. You hear about $1 billion, right? $1 billion is a lot of money. Here's $1 billion. Let's do a trillion. A trillion. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a trillion. There's another trillion. Oh, that's $1 billion. 1, 2, 3, 4. They do national economies like this. Economies are made in trillions of dollars. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another trillion. Yes. And here's this last. So if you take $1 trillion times $1 trillion, and then you times that by $1 billion. But instead of that money, make it days or years. Eternal life. Come on now. Oh, when the saints, go marching in, go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching, saints go marching. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching. Don't that make you happy right there? Listen. If you got $1 trillion times $1 trillion, and then take that number, which is 16 zeros here, and times that number by $1 billion. That's called a non-million. Now after that, you don't have to. You just say it's a million. What I'm saying is, if you take a 9 million, right, you say, okay, I got 1 9 million, 2 9 millions, 3 9. After a while, the 9 millions will have a trillion 9 million. It's like, you get up and you say, listen, time shall be no more. How old are you? They don't ask that question. See, in this life, we're trying to keep our hair, keep our hair a certain color. They call God the ancient. He has gray hair. But you know what? You take care of yourself. There's, God is wonderful. I'm quite sure our creator is not overweight. I'm quite sure he's not. And I know that he's not sick because you can't be immortal and have sickness in you. Because when you made in his image, you see what I'm saying? So let me do this right here. I just wanted to show you that this is a trillion times a trillion, and then whatever that number is, which is, that's the quintillion, the 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the septillion. And you times that by another million. Oh, goodness. You have nothing to worry about. Oh, goodness. That's a blessing. That is a blessing. That ought to motivate you. Whatever you're doing, you need to stop. Because when Jesus comes back and you find us doing things, Jesus come back and you find us caught up, doing things that we shouldn't be caught up into. Okay, now. Forward lesson. And listen, listen. Let's go to our lesson. What we were leading up into, when Paul and Barnabas were encountering, is that they would go into the Old Testament scriptures because Judaism has been around for a long, long time. I can Google it and tell you exactly how long it's been around. We know at least, listen, from Christ to now, it's been 2,000 years. But prior to that, Judaism has been around for a long, long time. But how is it that two men can come along and take the same scriptures out of the Torah, out of the book of Moses, out of the book of Psalms, out of the prophets? They had their Bibles were one book. They had scrolls. You know, the scrolls rolled together, and then they had a scroll for the book of Genesis, a scroll for the book of Moses. They had different scrolls. Okay, so how is it that these men would go into these scrolls? Here's my point: old dusty scrolls that they had been using for thousands of years. They go into their same book and show them that this thing was talking about Jesus Christ all along. That's why Peter said on the day of on the first day of the church, he said, "This same Jesus that you crucified, God made him both." That's that same Jesus. This same Jesus, Savior, that you've been reading about all the time. He said, this is that was spoken of in the book of Isaiah. This is that. He was led like a lamb to a slaughter, and before his shearers, he didn't even open his mouth. That was him. Don't you see? He said, don't you see how the scripture had to be fulfilled? Jesus didn't drown. That's why when the disciples were in the ship and the wind was tossing it back and forth, the ship didn't sink because God had already decided before the world began how the lamb would be sacrificed. So he didn't drown. He wasn't hung on a tree. That's not how that was. Jesus Christ had to be born according to the scripture. He lived according to the scripture. And he died according to the scripture. And he was raised 3 days. He said, destroy this temple. And in 3 days, according to the scripture. So all of a sudden, stuff that they had been reading all this time. That's like you've been living in your house all this time. You've been in your house for 40 years. All this time, barely struggling to pay the bills, struggling. somebody come in your house and they go under the floorboard up in the back bedroom, go under the floorboard, and in those floorboard was buried $6 million in your house. That money had been there all the time. You see that? And you didn't have the dog. The dog used to sleep right over there, right on top, and it's been there all the time. You just didn't see it. These truths had been in the Old Testament all that time. They had been struggling all that time, but they didn't see it. If you had known that, you know $6 million was buried in your back bedroom. Just reach up. Look, don't worry about the floorboards. You can pay with $6 million. You can pay somebody to fix that. And you were struggling all this time. So imagine how you would feel. You had this. It's been there all the time. But more especially if you had sold it. Imagine on the day that as soon as you signed the house over, they say thank you, and right there while you're downstairs, they run upstairs. As soon as they sign it, once they've signed it to you, whatever's in there belongs to them. And they go right there, right as you sign the paperwork, and go pick up that $6 million. Oh my God! So don't make it $6 million. Let's make it $100 million. See, I've been working all this time. If I had just stumbled upon something, this is how the Jews felt. They had this stuff all this time. They didn't know. Here these men come because now they're connecting all the dots properly. They're connecting the dots properly. They're showing the people clearly how what God does. God declares the end from the beginning. Only God can do that. Imagine how much money you would make if you were a bookie. If you could look at the 2000 and 2021 basketball, football, and baseball season and predict and know all the scores. Not just for one game, but for every sport, every game, all college, male and female, and to predict, and you know what all the scores are going to be. Who can do that? Who would know that? Only God would know that. And so that's why God gives us prophecies, so that when they come to pass, he said, you will know that I am God. So he writes it from the beginning. Now we're so stubborn and hard-headed that he gives us the answer. God gives us any test that we're going to come across in life, he gives us the answers to. But we're so arrogant that we want to do things our own way. For us, life is an open book test. There's no excuse to pass an open book test. If the book tells you the answer, like Mark gave us an example, stay in the car. You know what I mean? Stay in the car. Because the answer is, vengeance is mine. And we don't want to go by God's knowledge. We want to go by our own knowledge. But it's an implicit. It's an answer. The answers are here, and these are right. But we refute. Imagine taking the open book test, and you're saying, well, the textbook is wrong. I know more than the textbook. I know more than the textbook. Does that make any sense? So if you just life is an open book test, I tell us to end from the beginning, so that it don't seem like it's going to work out right. Walk right. But you're a woman. You got a healthy body. You always get a man. It might not be a good man, but you always have a man. He might not try to help you or stick around, but you always have a man on man. But if you want life to turn out right, walk by faith. Walk by faith. And just because you walk by faith, things take time. See, why don't we understand that when you're going to bake something, if you're going to bake a turkey, does that turkey cook, even if it's a microwave oven, does that turkey cook in 2 minutes? Trust the process. Put it in the oven. Prepare everything properly. Put all the proper ingredients in. Put it in the oven. Set it at the correct temperature. If it says it'll bake in 4 hours, it takes time. Allow patience. Forgiveness takes time. So you walk by faith. See, then everyone will testify at the end of our lives that God was right. The scriptures was right. If I had just did what God asked me, if I had just done what God had commanded me, everything would turn out. Everything would be just right. What happens to us is in our pride and our arrogance. One of the worst things that can happen is to be prosperous. In our prosperity, we begin to say, who is that? So we start to do whatever we want to do. When we're doing bad, man, God begins to do it. So what happened with the Jews, that very process. The apostles came, Saul and Barnabas, and we went into the scriptures in the 13th chapter. Everywhere they go, they're going to say it. Because this is powerful. This is powerful. Look, if I told you today that in 2021, who's going to be the NCAA Division I champion, basketball, if I said to you right now, who will be the champion, they turn out to be true. If I told you for the next 15 years, who's going to be the NCAA champion, you would be like, there's no way a perfect man would do it. Not only did I tell you who's going to be the champion, I would tell you who's on that team. 15 years from now, there are people who are still in elementary school that aren't even old enough to play college ball. I'll tell you who each one of those are going to be, and how much each one of them are going to each one of them is going to score, and how much they're going to win by, and which teams they're going to beat along the way. How can you do that 15 years in advance? Only God can do that. Mm-hmm. Well, how can God tell who the Savior was going to be 4,000 years before it happened? That's the power of God. That's the power of the prophecies. You see how powerful that is. Now we think if you can tell something 15 years ahead of time, that's spectacular. What if you do it for, matter of fact, what if you do this before the world began? That's God. That's why people say, the people that get it, the people that don't have any private agenda say, I get it. They believe, I get it. Just listen, I give up. If somebody told you, Jesus did this to a woman, he told her, everything she ever did, you'll get 5. What? I only told people I had 1. He told her about the first one, that little short man, muscular dude. Right. What? How you know about him? How you know about him? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then she told him. Then Jesus told her about the second husband that she had. You know, that numbers runner. How you know about him? He told her about all 5 of them. Y'all see the power in this here? Only God can do that. Only God can do that. So when some people stop fighting, you know, if God were to tell you, okay, I'm going to tell you where you're going to be at when you turn 30, 35, 45. I'm going to tell you on that specific day, what's the day's day? 19. If God were to tell us, I'm going to tell you everywhere you go, on April 19th, from now for the next 20 years, I'm going to tell you, listen, write this down. I'm going to tell you where you're going to be. So in 2021, he's going to tell you that you're going to be in Harrisburg, sitting in a coffee shop, or Starbucks. And which chair you're going to be sitting in, and who you're going to be talking to. And not only, and what that person is going to be wearing. And he does it for the next 20 years. You know, some people will still not believe it. But if somebody could do that, you would have to say that has to be done. You see, that is the witness of the scriptures. When different men who didn't even know each other are all saying the same thing. When planets that are billions of miles apart all align, let's tell you something. And so, what the apostles were able to do, because Paul had been taught by Jesus, and the apostles had been taught by Jesus himself. After Jesus arose from the dead, he read, remember we covered this? Then opened he their understanding that he might understand everything that was written in Moses, the prophets, and the Psalms concerning him. He opened it up. So now they got it. So now they can take this information. Listen, they can take this information and walk into the synagogue. They got all the answers. Look, I can walk into any college class. Look, now that I have the teacher's manual. The student's manual just has the question. The teacher's manual has the questions and the answers. So you can walk into any class You're an English major and you don't know anything about engineering, and you can answer the longest problem that they have. They say, wait, how did you do that? The average person would be like this, I believe. So this was what was happening. I'm just giving you the synopsis. They will go into a synagogue, and they will go into the Old Testament, and then they would work their way through, and end up with Jesus Christ. How did you know? But more. See, here's how you have to look at it in the proper light. In order to do that, it had to be God. In order for him to be hung on the cross, pierced in his hand, pierced in his hand, pierced in his side, all this was prophesied of. This had to be God. It had to be God. The average, normal, just regular, everyday person would see. Again, I use the example. If I told you who the heavyweight champion is going to be 30 years from now, if I told you 40 years from now who the heavyweight champion is going to be, and he's not even born yet, get it, when Jesus Christ, I told you who the Savior is going to be before he was even born. How can you do that? If I told you who the welterweight champion is going to be, middleweight and lightweight champion, 40 years before they were even born, you would have to say, wait a minute, there's no way you can know that. There's no way you can know that unless it was divine. You see the power in that? And that's why they believe. But the question I asked you was, why was it a bad thing? For those that had no understanding, it was a bad thing. But now it was a bad thing. It's okay. If you don't know, but once you know, the reason you go to school is because you don't know. Once you find out, now it's time to just come in line with the truth. If you see it, that's why Jesus said to them. They kept asking me, who are you and where are you from? Who are you? Who's your father? Where are you from? He got up one day and said, you know who I am. You know right who I am. I was born in Bethlehem. I was a Nazarene. You know who I am. You know. So that's why I said, you want to know? Search the scriptures. Because the scriptures they testify of me. They said, wait a minute. They said, wait a minute, you ain't even you're not even 4 years old. How can you say before Abraham was I am? He said, because the Lord said to my Lord, sit on my right hand, I saw him make your enemies your footstool. Because the Lord said to my Lord, wait a minute. Then he went on to say, David died and saw corruption. So it couldn't have been David he's talking about. Was he talking about himself or some other man? It had to be somebody else. The Lord said to my Lord. And know what they were saying? They didn't know why they didn't want to see it? Because they loved their position. They loved their authority. They had a vested interest to keep the things they were because everybody had to come to them. They didn't want to decrease and allow Christ to increase. You see that? Therefore, they were blinded. And they said, beware, you don't believe divine things, God will send a spirit of blindness. Prophesied of in the book of Isaiah. He already had it. For those that don't believe, already got something for you. This has already been predicted. This was in chapter 13. Where does that come upon you? What comes upon you? When you know what's right and you know what's wrong, but you just get sent that you want to do what you want to do anyway, a spirit will come upon you. He says, because they had no love for the truth, God shall send them a strong delusion. If somebody can tell you what the right thing is, you know what? You and your brother ain't gonna speak for you. Just go on down there. Just forgive him. Open it. Remember the open book test? The open book test? Just forgive him. That's the answer. Aye. Okay, so you would rather burn in hell if you don't want to forgive somebody. Don't you know that? You know, when you're growing up and you have brothers and sisters, it's not your job to beat your brothers and sisters. That's your mom, that's your parents' job. That's not your job. Unless they don't beat your brother, too. That's different. If they say you take your brother to the store with you, make sure he's in line, that's another story. But it's not my job to beat another man's servant. Look, I got people work for me, and I see other employees messing up. Look, they don't work for me. That's not my job. I'm not telling on them. I'm not calling my boss and saying they over there messing up. That's not my job. I don't get paid for that. I don't try to get brownie points for that. That's not my job to judge another man's employee or servant. I'm worried about the guys that's working for me, making sure they do a good job. See? So, again, the open book test is God has given us the answers on how to get through this life properly and to please God. Here's what we're trying to do, everybody, while we're here. You only got to please one person, and that's God himself. As long as God is happy with you and pleased with you, it don't matter. As long as you're doing things properly. Why? Because we're going to stand before God and be judged. And as long as he's happy with what we do, it don't matter what anybody says. Why are you worrying about somebody laughing at you? That's a future bum, a future unemployed person, a future jailbird. And you worrying about, this is what I like to tell kids. Listen, they can't see it, but I can see it. He laughing at you because you got books and they trying to make fun. Oh, you got algebra. You can't even pronounce it. They can't even pronounce it. The only reason they can talk that foolishness is because because their parents are paying their bills right now. But one day the parents are going to say, you gotta go. And then they're going to realize, I should have. The very thing that they were making fun of you, now they trying to go back at 45 trying to get GED. You know how far behind you are? Now, I'm not saying that they can't make up time, but don't never let nobody ridicule you for your walk in Christ, because we're seeking to please God. Jesus said, don't fear people. He said, the worst they can do is kill their body after that. That's all they can do. But I tell you, fear the one that after he has taken your life, he can destroy your death. That's what he's going to fear. Jesus himself said that. Jesus, the preacher of love, said, there's someone you should fear. My father ain't pray. Anybody else had some a strong parent, you know, if you ask my kid, my dad ain't playing. My daddy, he don't play. I don't care. Me and one of the brothers laughed about how bad they were when they were kids. That's the SMU that had me for fun. I'd have got one of those meat hooks. I'd have kept people till he stopped moving. What he said my father ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? I dated a young lady one time, and she's like, I dated her. This is true. I dated a boy was sliding all over the floor in the school. And she was like, I can't do nothing with it. I said, excuse me, do I have your permission? I don't want to overstep my bounds. Do I have your permission? He said, sure, you have it. I grabbed him by one ankle, stuck a sock in his mouth, so he couldn't scream. And he ain't never had a beat upside down before. Swinging by the fast. And his sweat broke out. He was trying to scream, but when you scream and can't nobody hear your cries for help, you realize it. I'm trapped. And I kept beating for 15 minutes, and the boy was telling me, like, and I said, this is only medicine, son. You need this. I call it medicine. Spanish medicine. I said, you need this medicine. When I got down with him, I said, listen, when I set you up, you act right, it will happen. When you act right, you get your way. He said, you don't understand. He paused for a second. He went, all right, here we go. He's like, oh. So after 5 more minutes, I said, let's do this again. Do you understand? He went, I said, this is known as medicine. Whenever I look at you and say, we give you some medicine, this is what it is. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're 4 or 14. I've done this to guys that are 24. I said, I'm going to beat you with your own belt. I get them like this. I get them in the air. I take their own belt off. And I splat. And they scream and holler. And I go, I said, see that there? Look at it. And I take their own shoe and crack them. Stop moving. Pat. So the shit. Pat. And when I settle there like this, he's crazy. Woo! Now I got 3 sons. Ain't none of them been in jail. They done graduated from the university of don't do wrong. Because I ain't playing. Woo! That's all these boys need. They know that if you do something wrong or stupid, there will be consequences. Because I ain't playing. That'll change the whole community. Drugs will go away. Teenage pregnancies will go away. Because of this, listen, if the son is so scared, but well, if I go in there and get this girl pregnant, what the heck? You know, it ain't worth it. She might be like, come on, he's out. That's crazy. That's crazy. Jesus tried to tell us. I went through all those answers to say this way. Jesus said, my Father is an austerity. He's not playing. He will take you and he will carry you and throw you into outer darkness. And we talking about a million times a million, billion times a billion, and a trillion. Once God turns his back on you, God is so patient, so kind, so loving, so forgiving. Anything you do, he will forgive you. That when he finally say enough is enough, there's nothing you can say to change his mind. When he say, I'm done with you, depart from me, I never knew you. The whole time you was ripping and running, and I was blessing you. The only reason you was blessed is that I had to let my rain shine on both the just and the unjust. That's the only reason you were blessed. And when God gives up on us, he said, my Father, that's the one you are to fear. The one that once he throws you into hell, there will be no second chance. So for all those that want to play, for all those that want to play with God, for all those that think that God is playing, Jesus said, my Father is not playing. My Father is not playing. That's the one that you should fear. See how severe that is? Behold the goodness. Romans says, the goodness and severity of God. Those that believe goodness, and those that don't believe anguish, tribulation, hard time. Those that don't believe. That's written in the book of Romans, chapter 1. In the chapter 1. What I'm actually doing is summarizing, even everywhere they go, Paul and Barnabas and Paul and Saul and one, they're going to have a process that they go in and they show, they reveal to people what has been there all along. They've been there all along. And when people, honest people see, they believe. And I was explaining with all that about God being a hard man. For the dishonest people, no matter how much God predicts the end from the beginning, they're not going to do it because they like a little bad, some bad kids, Johnny, you can take things from them, you can do whatever. They going to sit there and do wrong to you, rip them up and tear them up. They sometimes just have a butt work. And some kids is just that bad, just that rebellious, just that ornery, just that disobedient, that until you lay hands on them, ain't nothing else going to work. Ain't nothing else going to work. You can try to be good to them all you want. They don't care. They're going to take the blessing. They're going to do what they want to do. There's some you got to put in. So what I'm saying is, when God gives us all these signs from the Old Testament prophecy, our honest heart will believe. When a person that doesn't believe, Isaiah said, beware. There will come upon you a spirit of blindness. The New Testament called it a strong delusion. That strong delusion and that spirit of blindness is both one and the same thing. When we see scriptures right before our eyes, telling us about heaven and telling us about hell, and we fail to believe it, God is telling us the end from the beginning. We don't know when the world's going to end, but God already told us how it's going to end. And he's going to tell, and he already told us on the other side of the end of the world what's going to happen to the obedient, to the righteous, and those that have lived any way they want. He already told us, and we still don't believe. Okay, so he said, guess what? You want to go that route? You sure you want to do that with me? Jesus said, the one who said, no, Jesus said, tell you what, I'm going to tell you who you should fear. Fear the one that after you have destroyed your life, power to throw you into. That's what you should fear. Thou art in the spirit. Romans chapter 1. Just want you to see this. Actually read this. Well, let me just read this right here. It says in Romans chapter 1. It says that even in verse 3, that, well, let's go to 26. For this reason, God gave them up to vile affections. Even their women exchanged the natural use for what's innocent. Likewise, men, leaving the natural use of the turn and the restoration of men with men committed the shame. You see themselves. I got a King James. Even as they did not, and here's the point, even as they did not like to retain God. That's the problem. We have to build a church. It's not about numbers. But we have to build a church on people who like to retain God. If we just build a church off of a lot of people who don't really believe, more committed, you have encountered the cost, and any old little go through here, you know, we have to take our time and just say, right. Okay? People who like to retain God. See, if they don't like to retain God in their knowledge, here's what happens. God gives them over to a debased mind to do those things which are not right, which are not good. When it says here, being filled, we're supposed to be filled with love, filled with patience, filled with kindness. Yeah, we're supposed to have our cup running over. But if we don't like to retain God in our knowledge, this is what we're going to be full of. We will be filled with all what? Unrighteousness. People like that cannot stand before God and be justified. If we don't want to retain God in our knowledge, here's what happens. When we hold on to some sin, that sin takes root. What I mean by takes root? Intellectually, we know it's wrong, but it is taking root. So, I don't care what the say. You can tell me you can tell me where I'm going to be at 20 years from now. I don't care. Right now, right now, I'm living for the Lord right now. See the process. See the thing. Because we did not like to retain God, he said, we will be filled with all unrighteousness, sexual immorality, fornication, wickedness, covetousness. Now, this is all in the Old Testament. These are 10 commandments. Thou shalt not covet. We'll be filled with all, and these were the Jews, filled with all wickedness. Look, maliciousness is evil intentions. Evil intentions. Yeah, man, I'm looking at that woman across the street. And I know she married. As soon as he leaves, I'm going to get that. You will be filled. You will be sitting up in here quiet. You will be right here. You know, Judas was right with Jesus. He had evil intentions. You realize that as Judas was like the mafia. He leaned over to give Jesus the kiss of death. He walked with Jesus for years. But because he did not like to retain God in his life, he sat right there. How could you take the man, not that body, but that spirit, who's sitting at the right hand of God himself, that same man that would come back and wake up all the dead and take us through the atmosphere and deliver us up into heaven? How could you sit there and reach over and kiss him on the side of the cheek? You're just that close. And turn around and betray him. Even in the Lord's house. Even in the Lord's house, there are those that don't believe. You know, Satan himself. How could you sit there and be the light bearer? Lucifer, the light bearer. In the presence of God. He was in the presence of God. And he could describe God to you. And Satan is an immortal. And we don't even know how long he's been there. The same way eventually we're going to become one of the immortals. How could he be that close to God and then turn his back? How could you do it? So it says here that even as they did not like to retain God. So you have to, everyone look in the mirror and say, you retain God in your life? You do whatever you want. Guess what? For those who do whatever they want to do, what's going to happen? When we close our eyes, I don't know where each one of us are looking at God. We don't know that God knows. But when we open our eyes again, we look at God face to face. He says, "Depart from me." Jesus said, that's serious. That's serious. So we ought to make our priority. That is our priority. The scripture says that we have to save yourself from this wicked age. Save yourself. Worry about what other people are doing. You know, a lot of students just come like, they're not studying. You already know they're going to fail. You each have to save yourself. He says what he did. He says all these things: murder, strife, deceit, evil-mindedness, whispers, backbiting, hatred of God, violent, proud, boasters, fellows of evil things. All those things didn't put down in the sea. Knowing the judgment of God. Listen to me. Knowing the judgment of God. That they who, and this is the key word, that they who practice. You see that? That's where he said, whosoever is born of God does not practice sin. That's a difference. You might run a red light, you didn't mean to, the light turned yellow, and you ran. But it is not your habit, it is not your custom, it is not your practice. That's why we have to forgive one another. But for those who do things out of practice, you know what that practice means? My mind is fully set. Until I receive punishment, until that happens, I do not believe. There is no flow. So those are fully set. Those are the ones. Those that practice such things are deserving of them. Watch this. They not only do them, but they have killed those that practice them themselves. Practice. We ask, what do you practice? So I ask every one of you, I ask everyone, and then you have to ask yourself, what do you practice? What do you practice? I ask myself, what do I practice? So I'm the same God that you have to stand before, we all have to stand before. So what ain't gonna do? You know, because what do you practice? God knows the secrets of our heart. What do you practice? What do you practice? You got it born from above. Those not practice. Practice and sin. Take the time to turn and to forget. That's why he said we're inexcusable. You judge somebody else and say things. Okay? Yeah. Come over here. I want you to show you this. Something real. So this was Paul's practice, and really, so the same thing he did in Acts chapter 13, he did in Acts chapter 14. Here's what happened here. I just want to go home, read Acts chapter 14, and I'm just going to give you some highlights. Okay, so you see how that, when they were preaching the word, they came in and went and showed in the Old Testament how that God had predetermined all these things to happen. So the people, without any without any ulterior motive, said, I believe it. It's blood. There's no more fighting. Like the woman at the well, when Jesus told her, you would have 5 husbands, she says, I give up the fight. I'm not resisting. You're the Messiah. There are some people, they don't care. You can tell them everything they have done and the hard what they're doing. They don't care. As long as they got life in their body, they won't stick to it. You know, that's like you just did time in jail. You just gave them 30 years of your life for selling drugs. As soon as you get right back out, you go right back into it. Are we like that? Are we like that disobedient child? See, so what happened as a result of that, this what happened, Mark, in this department, that this whole city came together to hear the word. Many believed. The church was going down, not just because of the word, but because of the way that they were organized. They made it a point to take care of their own. So the church grew because of truth and because of the love that they had to each other. You got to understand, and we'll see this in chapter 14, in societies that don't have Medicare, societies that don't have health care, in societies where the government has nothing for it, God's answer to that is the church. That's God's answer to that. When we come in with very intelligent, powerful, business-like way, we help our people, and we do it in an extraordinary way. If you have holy men and women who have the ability to come in, and the Bible says that if they sit confident over this church, when you're living right, your prayers, God hears your prayers. When you're living right, God hears your prayers. This is how the church goes. They say, listen, you're not worried about these fortune tellers, and all they can do is give you these vague these. Look at the difference. Fortune tellers give you these vague fortunes that can apply to anybody, whereas God gives you things that are specific, that were written ahead of time. You see that? That's why the church was growing. So when we can have righteous men and women that live it right, we can come together and pray for one another, then you can be healed of your sins, healed of your anything you have. The Bible says this. So when people say that healings are over, but that's not true. That's not true. You read it. You know what scripture I'm referring to? I'll just read it for you. Then we can shut it down right here. And just go read Acts chapter 14 and 15 for yourself. Okay. James chapter 5. It says right here. Is any among you suffering? Verse 5:13. Is any among you suffering? Pray. Is anyone chilled? Let him sing song. Is any one of you sick? Let him call for the elders of the church. The elders of the church. And let them pray over him, anointing him with oil, in the name of the Lord. And the prayer of faith shall save the sick, and the Lord will raise him up. And if he has committed any sins, he shall be forgiven him. So you're saying that scripture is no longer applicable, but it's not true? It is true. But we have not because we don't ask. Now, this don't mean nothing to you unless you're sick, unless your little baby is sick, your daughter's sick. Now, for all those who are sick, which happened in Jesus' day and in the Apostles' day, if you know somebody dear to you, if somebody dear to you right now is at home suffering from coronavirus, and they're not doing good, that thing first hits your throat, and once it gets into the lungs, the body's own immune system is trying to attack it, and then those white blood cells, you actually, it chokes them, then it chokes their own self in your lung. You mean to tell me that we couldn't call for the elderly church, that they couldn't come and deal with that? So if this scripture is not true, that means that heaven and earth, you see how relevant, you see how the church grew? And righteous men and women, not just men, and righteous men and women come in and live in it, and pray. God hears your prayers. He does it not only for the benefit of the person that's sick, but for the glory of God, that people around can say, you need to be peaceful. Therefore, this is not for form or fashion or club. This is real results. You see that? See that thing? So, we're going to close right here. We're going to close right here. We're going to read how that many believe, many didn't believe, and then they rejected Paul and Barnabas. And don't take, remember we covered that? They rejected, don't take the question. They rejected Jesus. They rejected Father. Don't take the question. No. Then you go to Acts chapter 14, and you read where they started okay? So, what I tried to do, without actually going through Acts, was just give you what was the process. This was happening everywhere. Even when we got before the king of Britain, Paul said, I'm glad to be talking to you because I know you're familiar with the custom. And so now, the same trick keeps happening over and over again. Satan has his back in tricks, but so do we. If you take your neighbor, love him, be kind, do what you can for your enemy. If you got an enemy, somebody that you know is your enemy, and a storm comes through and tears your enemy's house apart. And we call it there all the way. You go to your enemy's house. You're in trouble. You start. This guy don't like you start helping clean up all that mess. Call, bring my trouble, we clean out all that free trouble. Look at the power of the gospel. And when we come in and we send people and we fix this man's house up. And that's your enemy. He knew in his heart that you treated people. You came over and you saw. Scripture says, you not overcome evil. That works. Overcome evil with good. Life is an open place. You have all the things. Your enemy sits in his house. He didn't have any home. He sits in a house that's better than it was before the storm. And every time he looks across the street, he sees him. And he comes over and knocks on the door. What up from the church? I'm so happy. See the power of God. Satan has it back in church. That a divine testimony. That's what the Apostle Paul is trying to say. Yes, he did the same thing when he sent out of the prison. Go in there, and they do what Jesus did to the apostle. He opens up that stand. Stand things that were written centuries ago. He said, oh, this is what you got. I believe. You got me. I believe. Simon, he told one guy, when you were under the fig tree, I saw it once. Is that what maybe he was ganja under the fig tree? Oh, what are you doing under the fig tree? But Jesus said, you. Jesus didn't say that. Jesus said, you can go with 5 husbands. You had 5 husbands. But he didn't tell them what they were into. He said, you had 5. So it's all trouble. You see that? So that's why they take these prophecies and then they show out that these things written hundreds of years ago. That's why I said, if I were to tell you who the heavyweight champion is going to be in 19 years, I tell you on what day you be a champion and what round you're not going to have. That is not horoscope and sorcery. That's only God's word. And we have a more true word of Christ that we should continue to as light shine. So that's the process. I'm just without actually going into the scripture, that's the process that the apostles were doing, always going into the synagogue and showing out and proving out of the scripture that Jesus is the Christ. And the honest heart would see that and say, I believe. If I had told you in 1960 that a guy by the name of Usain Bolt told you his name, the country he's from, how tall he would be, and he would be the sprinting champion of the world, and what his time would be, how could you know that? And at that time, they're not even looking. Is that guy? Is that guy? So they said, you see, so without even going into the process, church happened, you see the general process of what they were doing. And the Jews got envious because he took the same book that they had. This is my last example. Sit down. I was taking guitar lessons. I came to the guitar teacher. I told you about this story before. And I said, "Can you play this for me?" And he started playing. The guitar lit up. It was beautiful, beautiful. I said, "That's just what I thought." I said, "There's nothing wrong with the guitar. It's pretty good." I'm a pimple. I could get the thing accurate. They took the same scriptures, books of Moses, the Psalm. There's nothing wrong with the scriptures. That's like you could take 2 women, got the same constant thing. You give both, you give 2 women, 2 birds. And the other one, the bird dead, and she made sure that she killed it. She burned it. And the other one let the taste. Others, if we're not of the truth, 20 years from now, this church will be the same truth. We abide, we live righteously, and do the same, do the right thing. This place will have overgrown, and we will have to add an addition, we have to go over this stuff. Using the same scripture. That's what the apostle did. See that? Using the same scriptures. I'm not saying that. Power for salvation. Those that believe. Stop trying to get people that don't believe that time. They don't believe they were not from the beginning, they were not appointed to salvation. The Lord added to the church daily such as should be saved. Those that were appointed to salvation believe. Don't get, listen, keep moving. There's for every one that don't believe, there's 30 or 40 that just want to hear. There's somebody there that didn't have a mother that's just waiting there. have somebody to be a mother to. They hunger and thirst because they feel the effects of it in their life. They just beg for it. The people that are not hungry, keep them. That's what I do. All through your life. Just the people that just do be about your business. Jesus said, I must be about your business. Stick. That's what Mark said. When he stopped at that light, the guy trying to get up and challenge him, stick to your business. That's not what you're here for. That's not what you're here for. There's a police officer somewhere. When his boy the light, when he get out the car, that cop or undercover cop, when them lights light up in the group, and he get up there, he ready to pull the gun. Oh, you undercover? Undercover. Boom! Pop. See that? You gotta stick to what God calls you. Stick to what God calls you and fear God. You don't fear somebody else said, if you don't fear God, a whole lot of people during this time, and no church, no reading, and will be caught in forces. Fear God. Okay? But that was the process of the apostles were doing. Going in these old prophecies and showing how that it all pointed on the Jesus Christ. And that Jesus could do what the law could not. He came to the law could never remove your sins. Jesus not only gave your sins, but removed the sins, gave us a new heart, and a new life, because he gave us a new covenant. Gentile covenant. Thank you, sir. Yes.
Amen. That was a wonderful, timely sermon you gave us, Brother Chuck, this morning. Right on time, and thank God for that. Yeah, he'll go page 120 as we prepare our hearts and minds to give back our bless this morning. Amen. Page 120, the solid rock. Amen. Page 120.
It's built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I cannot trust the sweetest ring, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. Oh, Christ the solid rock, all around is sinking sand. All around is sinking sand. When darkness veils His loving face, I rest on His unchanging grace. And every heart is stormy bell, I anchor hope within the veil. On Christ the solid rock, well, all around is sinking sand. All around is sinking sand.
Amen. Let's pray. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, thank you for allowing us to be able to give. Those that were not able to give, even bless them. We know their hearts and their minds. We just thank you for this day for allowing us to look at you today, Lord, just to praise your name, to learn more of your word. And not to be here to do it, but just stop to do it. We ask in Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. Service, Brother Joe, Sister, our Savior, Lord. Hear our sorrow, hear our state. Because this is good and none of it. As Paul writes in the prayer, emphasis, for I have received the Lord, that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Jesus, same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. And he had given thanks, he brake it, said, take, eat, this is my body, which is broken. This is also. That's the same there also. He took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye, as often as you drink it, and be remembrance of me. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do show the Lord's death.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for all things Jesus Christ. And we thank you for Jesus Christ. Thank you that you gave his life, sacrifice, his body, for us, for all the sinners. If you ask, your son asked us to know, do this, to eat this word, drink of this food of the body, and what he said, that we go to ask that you that clear the give them some of these practices, or before the God. We ask the Lord to fulfill the sacrifice. That's it. It just feeds us. The power to do it. To improve it. And then he has to say, Jesus asked us to do it. He asked us to do it. It was important to him. So we ask each and God bless it. Bless this word. God bless the Father, this Bible, which is the New Testament of Christ. So forth. be alright. I'll be alright. I'll be alright someday. If in my heart I do believe I'll be alright someday. I'll wear a crown. I'll wear a crown. I'll wear a crown someday. Oh, and in my heart, oh, I do believe. Oh, I'll wear a crown someday. Oh, I'll see the King, and I will see the King. I'll see the King someday. Well, in my heart, I do believe I'll see the King someday. Oh, I'll never die. I'll never die. I'll never die someday. In my heart, I do believe I'll never die someday. The Father's in prayer, and after that, what happened? Oh, is that the prayer?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's a good thing. Anybody, any prayers, just give it to them on the way in, and then we'll put it on the list. This is not just for formal for fashion. Oh, okay. Okay. So you just text them that. All right, we'll get there. I'll wear a crown. I'll wear a crown. I'll wear a crown someday. In my heart, oh, I do believe that I'll wear a crown someday. Oh, and I'll see the King. I will see the King. I'll see the King someday, someday. Oh, in my heart, I do believe I'll see the King someday. Let's go to the throne of God.
Just to wake up again to see a new day. As we take the right to the brain, but thank you for the blessings and watching over us throughout this week. Keep us in the love and goodness. Lord, let us listen. Prayer, request, Lord, of Turner family, mother, stage 3 cancer, 3rd degree cancer. Family say, keep it. Prayer, come. They have been working. Need raise at coronavirus, pray for him and his family. Jones family, they lost their father. Bennett family, wife, keep them in prayer. Betty's family, mother just got out of the house. Keep family prayer. Either my own family, Alex, and then my brother in prayer for him. The brother-in-law passed on, but pray for him and his family. Also, we keep them in prayer, Lord. Keep all of us in prayer and our family, Lord. Watch over us, Lord. Keep us in your love and your mercy, Lord. We don't know what will happen, but we know you're able, Lord. Keep us. And the God is, Lord, that we may follow our steps, Lord, and that we keep one another. So, Lord, we just thank you for this day, for the service of this day. We ask in Jesus' name, to bless all.
Now, for, you can also,